Hi everyone and welcome along to today's quick fix. We're going to paint, well, we're going to draw actually. We're going to do some line and wash Blackthorn blossom because I've got some from the garden which looks really cool. So I'm just drawing in pencil a stem, and then I've got my Winsor & Newton fine line pens, and I'm going to actually do the drawing first because Blackthorn blossom, it's very pale and white. It's sort of almost easier to get the drawing done first, and then we can do some sploshy painting over the top. So I'm just gonna go for it really. So you can see the blossom flowers have got 5 petals each, and so we're going to sort of begin with a little sort of central cup, and I'm going to draw in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 petals, and I'm going to always start with that central point, and then I can work out sort of how to anchor my petals always down into that point. And if we look at the sort of little branch here, how it sort of finishes off like that, we could just get a little sort of sense of a bud coming off down the gnarly stem, and then the flowers, this one's going to be facing away, come out on little green stems from the gnarly branch. So I'll put one in there as well. So petal, petal, so those petals are facing away from us. So I think what's easiest is to sort of begin by sort of placing in your flowers over the stem, over the branch, always coming back to that central anchored point, and then sort of finishing off any branch with a little stem, budding stem like that. And sometimes we can't see all 5 petals, but most of the time we can. So I'm just going to draw in all those petals, and then we'll get on with the next bit. Now these pens come in different thicknesses, so I got a 0.5 here. I can go down to a 0.3, then down to a 0.1 to be the thinnest. So I'm going to use the slightly thinner ones to start to add a little bit of detail. So I'm going to use the 0.3 to just sort of add a few lines of almost shadow, I suppose, or just more texture on the bark. Oh, I've actually missed out a bit of tree there, a bit of branch. And then also these flowers have these very long filaments and anthers and stamens, so to stop it getting too busy, I'm going to use my smallest pen, the 0.1, and I'm going to draw in all the little filaments. So of course we've got some flowers facing away from us, so we'll see the little filaments sort of on the other side of the petals. And then some facing us. They're almost trickier, the ones that are facing us. So sometimes I like to just sort of place in a cluster of dots like this and not have all of them actually joining up. 3/4 angles, ones just from the side like that, are a bit easier. So yeah, just go through, fill in all the little dots, and then the other thing we can do is just a few little lines on the petals. Just helps give them a bit more of a sense of direction. And with this really thin pen, your lines can be really nice and delicate. So now I'm going to mix up a few colours. So I've got sap green there, and then for the branch a bit of, ooh, that's a lot of Payne's grey. So you just don't need much, do you? Just mix that in. And then for the petals, well, you know, these flowers are quite small, so doing too much to them is going to be a bit heavy. But there is there's a green star in the middle. There is also the orange filaments, so I'm going to get a bit of green gold, a little bit of cadmium yellow in there as well, and I've also got the orange woken up. So it's an interesting challenge doing line and wash with quite small flowers. So I think we'll just go really gently and not be too heavy with the colour. So I think we'll start with some sap green on the little buds, and there are also little leaves here and there. So we'll just place in a few little green dabs like that. Then for the branch, my whole approach with line and wash is to very much not paint not sort of colour it in within the lines. It's all about adding a bit of interest, a bit of texture and detail. And then let's see, I think that's going to work quite nicely with that green gold. Little star in the middle. And I actually don't know if we need any colour for the petals themselves. We'll hold our judgment until the end. But I do know that the dots I want to do for the orange, I don't want them to be confined to actually the dots I've drawn. I want to create that lovely sense of the spray of filaments. I think that works really nicely actually. I think the best line and wash are when you can see the paint and the drawing working together rather than being tied together by being accurate with either exactly colouring in or, you know, being really rigid and prescriptive. So I think that's fun, but what we can do is if I get a lot of water into my shadow mix there, and then just sort of see if I can make it a little warmer with my green colours, and I think we can add just a little bit of colour to some of these petals, and I think that's lovely. So we do have a YouTube playlist called How to Draw Flowers, which we'll put this one into because it has given you a nice little drawing tutorial, but of course it's also about a bit of line and wash, and I'm just going to get a little bit more green in there. Now we've got our colours in. So yeah, do go and check it out, and if you're not already subscribed, well, why ever not? It's completely free to do, and you get notified whenever we have a new tutorial, so I think it would be a very good idea to do so. So that's your quick fix for this week, a nice little line and wash Blackthorn blossom. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye!